Hi, everyone. It's about 10 to 9 on Monday, the 15th of June, and this is your pre-opening call. I want to remind you that if you like the work, we'd really appreciate if you'd hit the subscribe button. This morning's information is fairly negative. The Dow futures are currently showing an opening of down about 650, NASDAQ down 135, and S&P, as you can see here, is down 57 or just under 2%, and fair value is actually up 5. So right now, this is forecasting an opening of down about $63. We had Empire State Manufacturing come in well above what was expected. Last month was a minus 30, and this month is a minus 0.2%. So that's moderately positive. It still was down, and we're down substantially since the first of the year, but in general, that's a better report than was expected. The real weakness this morning are in the financials, the cruise lines, the airlines. Right now, Boeing is down 11. American Airlines is down $1.28, or roughly 8%. Southwest is down about 6.5%, down $2. And UAL is down about 9%. They are doing a deal to raise more money, and what they're going to use as collateral is their loyalty program, which last year generated $5.3 billion in sales and $1.8 billion in EBITDA. So that's pretty substantial. Their burn rate has gone from about 40 million a day in the first and into the second quarter. They expect to get that down to about $30 million a day by the September quarter. Still a lot, but on the basis of money raised, excuse me, they will have about 17 billion. So that's a lot of little 30 billions a day. Hertz won approval to do a $1 billion a $1 billion money raise. The stock, however, is $2.11, down 72 cents, or roughly 25%. And the reason for this is simple. I mentioned it last week, and I mentioned it in yesterday's letter. This is going to be dramatically dilutive. When they first made the announcement, they said they were going to raise $1 billion on 247 million shares, and that's a little over $4 a share. And when they made that announcement, the stock had rallied up to about $6, or they made the announcement after the stock had rallied about $6. Right now, at $2.11, they would have to do this deal at a discount, and that $1 billion might be as much as 1 billion shares. That would give current equity holders a diluted value of 90%. In other words, instead of being 142 million shares, there'd be 1.14 billion shares. So that would be pretty dramatic. GE Aviation is replacing their president, David Joyce, with John Slattery, and he has been the CEO at Embraer, which is another plane maker, obviously not Boeing or Airbus, but nonetheless, they do small and medium size and private jets. So it's a decent company. It's just not Boeing. Boeing, by the way, is down 11. The gold, as I mentioned in last night's video, I think is going through the kind of asset liquidation that will be used for margin calls. I mentioned that this has nothing to do with the gold whatsoever. And I also said in last night's video, I explained that there have been only 2 closes in this entire time frame that were below 1700. Right now we're 1710. If we were to get back down just under 1700 at 16, let's call it 85 or 90 in this area, I would probably try the long side again. Oil is down $1.28 or 3.6%. And also, there's a CNBC poll that they do exclusively with Yelp. So this is not information you'll normally see, but they use the Yelp platform to look at closures and growth. And there has already been a second wave of closures of restaurants and retail and beauty. And 1/3 of those closures are deemed as permanent. The way that it breaks down in the restaurant end, 48% of the closures are permanent. In the retail end, 27% of the closures are permanent. And the one that actually does the best is beauty, with only 18% of the closures as permanent. And I think there are a lot of, small beauty salons or nail salons and such where, you have an owner operator, and while it was uncomfortable, there wasn't a huge support staff. A lot of beauty salons have people who are there as contractors, not employees. And one bit of good news, and that is a little company, symbol BBI, Brickle Bio, and they have they have ended a phase 3 trial for a topical cream, I guess, for excessive sweat, hydrohidrosis. And the stock right now is $3.30, and that's up from $1.26. So there's your substantial gainer. Probably be the home run of the day on the Daily Note if it holds up. All right, everyone, it's going to be a rough morning. Again, if you appreciate the work, please subscribe. Have a good day.